Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on whether you're watching us live or recorded. It's much better live. More on that in a minute. I'm very, very pleased that everybody's saying hi. This is number 30 of the 30 for 30 webinars. Uh, oh boy, it's been tough. It's if you knew what had been going on in my life in general, you'd be amazed that I turned up for 5 of them, let alone 30. And really, it's been an effort, but I've had so much positive feedback. I really appreciate everybody that's emailed saying, "Hey, thanks for doing the webinars." Look, it is my job, but also, it's because I love the language, and I'm very pleased to help promote it. Malcolm Chain, yet again, uh, saying hi with his kangaroo from Australia at 3 a.m. Doug members reporting in. Yes, sir. Thank you for joining in. So I can do the British way, which I think is also the Australian way, rather than the American way, which is that one. But thank you, sir, for joining in. I really appreciate it. We are literally the last of the 30 for 30. I've actually done about 34 webinars, maybe more, because I do some that are kind of out of the general order of the webinars that we've got in, because we've had a few extras and some security webinars and a few other things as well. But it's been 30. I said I'd do 30, and I get my word. Some days it was a struggle, but I got there. And I'm just really pleased for all of the regulars chipping in today. Today is going to be a slightly different webinar. I've got, there's so many of you coming and saying hi. Chile against San Carlos. Oh, there you go. Apparently, it's going to be warm in Wilton, which is where Francis is next week. Good evening from South Africa. Oh, sorry, got something on my tooth there. And hello, Roland from South Africa. We've got quite a few South African users. Delphi's taught, or was taught, I think he still is taught, in South Africa. We've got a very good user group over there and a very good bunch of educators as well. So extremely popular in South Africa. Nigel is in sunny southern England. I still don't believe it's sunny in southern England, but Richard was saying hi a little while ago, although he's actually nowhere near southern. I don't know why I said southern. Sorry about that, Richard. He's in Leicestershire, and he says it's sunny as well. So it's sunny here, but we had tornadoes yesterday and all sorts of things. Mustafa is in the Netherlands. Hello, Mustafa. I'll be there in about 3 weeks' time for the Delphi Summit, which I suppose I ought to really include the QR code there for the Delphi Summit. Get it whilst it's hot. It's the seats are going fast. Great event. It's going to be held in a video games arena, and last year was mind-blowingly good. If you want to see how good it was, then go back and look at the conferences video that we did a little while ago, or the 30th birthday one. Roland says, I want to commend you for starting these webinars on time each time. Roland, look, here's a pact. Okay, you guys register and say you're going to come, and I will be here. I don't like letting people down. I've had a lot going on recently, and there's some of our team are waiting for some stuff from me, and I simply can't do it. I'm literally, once I finish this webinar, I've got to create a load of other slides and things like that. I'm flying to Denmark tomorrow. I'm in Denmark for a week, doing the Danish user Pascal. They told me what it meant. Daypug used to be the Pascal the Paradox user group, which then graduated to being Pascal and Paradox, and then Delphi. Anyway, I'm presenting to them for 2 solid days, and it's a lot of work. So I'm getting on. Code for Delphi is here. I'm going to talk about his link in a moment. From Brazil, Coders is here. Hello, Coders. Hi, welcome to you. And Nigel's very impressed with Malcolm Chain, who turns up at 3 a.m. I had a little email conversation with Malcolm. He's a good guy. And Luso Delphi, I'm going to mention you as well. And we'll talk generally about the stuff that's going on. He's a great MVP, and his site, is a focal point for Portuguese developers, or Portuguese speaking developers, should we say. Bernd Appelhans is in Germany. Hello, Bernd. I'm beginning to realize that there are quite a few people with the first name Bernd, because I had 3 emails this week from Germany. All 3 of them were called Bernd, and they were 3 different people. So I guess it's like Ian. Ian's a very popular name in England as well. And Vic says XXX. Well, I don't know whether you're suggesting the video is going to be XXX, but it really isn't. And Bernd says, what a run. Yes, 30 webinars, 2 a week, every week. I never missed one. Never, not one. And if you knew what, I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to get too personal, but if you knew what had been going on in my life, you'd be amazed that I managed it, because I'm pleased with myself. But I do like work and I enjoy what I do, and it is for the love of Delphi and Object Pascal. This is why I do it. No better reason than that. And actually, what makes it even more gratifying is that you people join up and watch us. We get around about 3,000 views, 2.7 to 3,000 views per video, which is quite amazing for a development product, and particularly for a live stream where it's unscripted. I literally don't use a script, as you can tell, and I do use slides quite a lot, and I haven't really got any slides today. I'm going to show some links and stuff like that, but yeah, it's good. As Patrick says, congratulations, you did it. Patrick, you know what effort it takes for streaming, because you are way better than I am at streaming. Patrick, who I'm going to put his link up in a moment, streams on Twitch all the time. And in fact, he did mention in his I'm going to have to pull up my notes here because I remember him mentioning something. Where did he say? He's got 3 public holidays, and then he's going to do 100 days of code challenge. Patrick, you must be crazy, dude. I mean, I do 100 days of code, but not live on stream. That would do it. And Nigel insists it is warm. Summer says, visit us in Turkey. You're more than welcome. Yeah, it's been suggested, actually, more than once. We've got quite a lot of Turkish developers, which is interesting. There's Nigel says a shortage of pork rind in Denmark, which means a shortage of pork scratchings. Fun fact for you, Nigel: Danish bacon actually use a time and attendance and HR system that I worked on in the UK, the Danish Bacon Company, and it's written entirely in Delphi. So there you go. Next time you open a pack of Danish bacon in the UK, think of Delphi. I keep telling people when I did the webinar where I said, where is Delphi used? It's everywhere. You just don't know it, because it doesn't go wrong. You don't get error messages saying Delphi has caused a guru meditation error. No, none of that nonsense. It just keeps going. Well, Danish bacon, very good customer, not of Embarcadero, I hasten to add. They're actually a customer of someone else that I used to write for, but yeah, they use Delphi. So if you open your Danish bacon, it's powered by Delphi in the background, kind of subtly. Martin, hello from Sweden, fantastic. And Armando, is from Brazil. Yes, and I'm going to mention you in a moment as well. Malcolm says, any KSVC update news? Yes, we are about to make an announcement about that. We haven't done it yet. We're still polishing up some things, but there is something coming very soon. If you're watching this live, it's going to be a few days away because we've still got some things to polish. But KSVC, or Knopka Signature VCL controls, they are going to have a little bit of a news item coming up. So we're going to announce that as well. And also on Hey Schwej, so hello to Sweden. Hi Schwej, hey, hi, yeah, Schwej, so Sweden, and Bert says, haha, nice one. Yes, that's the name of the next version, Delphi Bacon. I'm afraid not. No, we know what the next version of Delphi is going to be. I'm not going to announce it on this stream because we're going to do a blog that announces it. But we've had a competition on which there were votes, And in fact, I think I've taken the vote down now. Yes, I don't have the voting thing anymore, but there will be a Delphi version 13 for sure. And in some countries, 13 is considered unlucky. So there was a bit of debate about it. Well, should we do it? Should we not do it? And the answer is we're going to do it. Version 13. Now we always have names for those products like Athens and all the others, and it's usually named after a city. And of late, it's been Greek cities. We've had London in the past, and a few others. Alexandria was another one as well. But the choice will be between Florence in Italy, where Leonardo da Vinci famously came from, and Syracuse in Italy as well. The main that's the home of Archimedes, and the reason is that people say, well, why can't you open it up so that we could choose, other names or suggest our own city names? If you look at some of the discussions on Facebook and a few others, you will find that there was a lot of people saying, why can't you call it Delphi Swindon? Why can't you call it Delphi Nantes, for example? Why can't you call it Delphi, and I say Nantes for a reason. Sorry, I meant there. Because Einstein, hello again, always here or mostly here from Nantes in France. And a few other people as well saying, oh, why can't you name it after, some Persian historical city? Why can't it be called after an Egyptian city? And that was what happened. Everybody was naming them after their names. I literally had someone say, because I used to live in Milton Keynes, why can't you call it Delphi Milton Keynes? Well, that made me laugh. It was because actually the city of Milton Keynes and Delphi or Pascal are actually roughly the same age, weirdly enough. But I was born in Woolwich in London, and I'm one of the few people going to say Woolwich properly, I can assure you. But yeah, there you go. And Patrick says live coding needs less work than presentations, but yes, I know what all this needs work before each session, during and after, sometimes for blog posts. Yes, there's a lot going on. My camera's zooming in and out of focus. I'm not quite sure why. And replays. We should have Montreal next. Yeah, see, we've had 100 different names or more suggested, which is why we just went, you know what? Here's a choice of two. Pick one. And we have allowed the public to literally pick the name of their choice. I know what the answer is because we have got enough results now. We know what it's going to be, but we're going to announce it in a blog post any day. If I had time, I'd do it this afternoon, but it's not going to be. It may be that the big boss, the president of the company, does the blog post. Or maybe not. Maybe me. But I know what it's going to be. It's either going to be Florence or it's going to be a Syracuse, and I know the answer. In fact, 13 is supposed to be unlucky because Knights Templar were rounded up and slaughtered on the 13th. I didn't know that. I actually have association with Knights Templar. It's a long story, but not me. I wasn't part of the Knights Templar. I would be executed by the medieval king or whatever. But I do have an association with that. Rename it Delphi 1101 binary. Yes. Yes, you could even run events at the MK Bowl. Richard, yes, I could. That would be fantastic. That would. I'd love to have the company pay for me to fly to Milton Keynes. It would save me a lot of money and a lot of time. I'd go back to MK tomorrow and say hi to everybody. All my friends are there and stuff like that. And also here, Patrick has put the link up for the blog post about choosing the next name of Rad Studio. Like I say, I get it. A lot of people say, I think it should be called this, and I think it should be called that. We literally had so many suggestions that it would have diluted the vote. So we picked two and let you decide between those two because it made sense. We have other reasons why the city that we pick has to have no nefarious backgrounds, although almost any city of any age has got something associated with it that you don't necessarily say is appropriate, but some places are worse than others, and not only that, some place names have double meanings. Some of them exist in several places around the world. I'm trying to think of one here. No, I can't think one off the top of the head, but there's several places around in Dallas that are named after large cities in England. And so if we named it Delphi something from, say, Somerset or somewhere like that, people go, why are they named after that city in Dallas? And we're not, no, it's not, it's the English one. Sure, it's the English one. What about that one? Oh, God. Yeah. Same with Australia as well. Delphi D for Hex. Yes. Oh, Helios, you're driving me crazy. Yeah, we're not doing that. It's going to be one or the other. The dog wants focus. That's why the camera is confused. Yeah, yeah. He's bless him. He's asleep. It's all very tiring being watching me code and stuff like that. It's all much too much effort for him. Bless him. Delphi Rad Studio 15 McDonald's Arena, New Orleans. Oh, I never thought the potential for sponsorship. That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Oh, we'll probably get sued by McDonald's. Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah. It's time to jump to Delphi 14. No, we're not going to do that. Aleppo is one. Yeah, there's all sorts. Or it may align with the Euros Delphi 25. Actually, Vic, the reason we don't do that is major versions usually cross years. So if we have a Delphi 25, it'll actually still be sold in Delphi, in 26, and that would be a little bit confusing, especially if we did several minor versions. Yeah, there's a city, Aleppo, one in the USA and one in Syria. Yes, exactly. And there's a lot here. There's Beatrice, which is Beatrice in British English. I can't think, my mind's gone blank. But I personally, I live in Frisco, in the northern part of Dallas. And Frisco itself gets confused with San Francisco. And the reason is that the city name is named after San Francisco because there was a railway, steam train junction here. And it was the New York to San Francisco line, I think, or something like that. And this was the key kind of staging point. And so they called the city Frisco. Because it's a shortening of San Francisco, but we're nothing to do with San Francisco. We're Texans here. I know I don't sound Texan, but technically, I've even got a sticker from the government saying I'm a genuine Texan. It's a weird world that I live in. And Salady, hey! You can't hear me clapping, I think, because of the noise cancellation. But hello from Brazil. Yes. Now, this person here is also in the links I'm going to show in a moment. She is a very, very good developer, and she streams on Instagram. She streams on YouTube and all over the place. And she's going to the Delphi Summit. So if you want to meet the lady, go to the Delphi Summit. She'll be there. Me and her have been talking about a few things to do with Python and to do with Internet of Things. She's an engineer who specializes in that kind of stuff. And she's not an old grey man like me, which is always a good thing as well. Richard Hazell, who's also commenting in the comments there, he's also not a grey old man either. He's a youngish guy. So there's a few of us around, and Patrick Prematana is also quite young as well, definitively. But Salada, yes, good thing. She's going to be in the Brazil Embarcadero conference, which I'm going to mention, and also the Delphi Summit, as I said. So yeah, well, there's a lot of people around. Oh, see now the whole conversation down here, where my chat window is all about what city we should name Delphi 13. I told you, that's why we picked two and said choose from those two. Sorry, because we'd have like 7 votes for each city, and we couldn't divide between them. It'd be like 400 cities. Oh, I think you should name it after, Brisbane or something like that. And yeah, it's not there. Giavan Campos says, "Fala comigo, me caro." Hello. Yes, hello to you too. Yes. About the only Brazilian Portuguese I know is "Fala pessoal," which the only reason I know that is because they all start their streams like that. I'm assuming it's not, anything rude. I think it means "Hey guys" or something like that. So, or greetings. Okay, so let's talk about a few things. So, 30 webinars Um, it's been epic. I've covered every topic I could think of. And yes, talk to me, my friend, in English. Yes, I get it. Yeah. So the when this started, why did we decide to do 30 webinars? Well, because 30 years ago, i- this February the 14th, it's just passed, Delphi was released. And I remember that day. I was a developer. I was actually a Visual Basic and C developer at the time. And I read a magazine article about Delphi and I went, wow, this is really good. I mean, it did some very unique things at the time. There's been stuff has evolved since then, but when Delphi came out, it was literally, um, you know, uh, game changing. And I think most of you that are watching this are obviously Delphi fans. Otherwise, you're probably a bit confused about what we're doing. And I bought Delphi the very first day it was released on 14th of February, 30 years ago, and I've never looked back. I used it for all those years for professional development. I taught myself from the books that came with Delphi, because there wasn't really any educational material at the time, and watched lots of videos from David I, who's nearly always in the chat and things like that. And I can honestly say that Delphi changed my development life. I can write in C, C++, Forth, there's a language, COBOL, you name it. I can program in probably between 9 and 15 languages. I can't remember all of them that I can. My shelves behind me have got some different books. It won't focus properly, but different books of different languages, Python, you name it, you can do it. But you know what? The only language that I have used as a developer that I believe does it the easy way is Delphi. You can design your screens like that. You can have your customer or your manager or whoever who says, I want the screen to look like this, sit next to you. You can design the screens and they can say, can you move that over a little bit? Can I add this? Can I change this color? They can sit over your shoulder and watch you do it. And that is the strength of Delphi. And then you get the full power and stability and security of a fully compiled native executable coming out of it. It's not a script. It's not a web wrapper wrapping around, HTML files and scripts and stuff like that, like Eclipse might be. It's very, very good. And I need to tell people to stop texting me whilst I'm busy. I say, go away. Stop messaging me. And that's the strength of it. And you can, same code, you can create an iOS app and an Android app like that, no problem at all. And you can do the same thing with a Windows app, Mac OS app, and a Linux app. And more on FMX Linux coming up. We hope to have some very exciting news about FMX Linux in the next couple of days. So that's why we were celebrating. It's been 30 years. I did a webinar where I showed that these people that say, oh, Delphi is really old. Actually, JavaScript is the same age. And yet people think JavaScript's a new language. PHP, C++ older by a significant period. C, much older. In the top 10 languages in TIOBE, we're actually the fourth newest in the top 10. And we're not even in the top 10 anymore. We're in the top 9. So, it really used to bug me that people say, oh, Delphi's old-fashioned or something like that. These are people, I don't know what they're scared of, why they're so vitriolic about Delphi and so negative, because they have got no idea what they're talking about. You guys know because you're watching the stream. And if you've watched the 30 videos, which, to celebrate those 30 years, then I've tried to reinforce through the streams what we're doing and why it's important. But don't just take my word for it, because there's a bunch of links coming up in a moment to user groups and things like that around the world. From every corner of the world, there are Delphi developers. I'm not going to lie to you. The early 2000s were probably our golden era at that point in terms of number of users. Um, and uh, and Charles Stack says, I found a guy the other day who looked at me like I had two heads when I said our system has been and is written in Delphi. Yeah, and the webinar I did where I talked about who uses Delphi, so many people were like, I didn't know that was written in Delphi. You know, no, that's the point. Why should you? Why should you know? If you use the system and it works, why would you care what language it's written in? Well, we care because we're the developers. You're the developers. But in terms of the end user, it doesn't matter because it works, and that's the point. And it works and it keeps on working. You can take a Delphi app written Windows XP, you can still use it today on the Windows 11. I tell you that for certain because I know of many programs that were written that way and still carry on working. So and Charles says, I spent about 15 minutes while waiting for my glasses to get fixed, explaining to him why we use it. You should have heard him on Postgres as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is the thing. It's just weird. Why are they so negative? I don't go around saying C sharp's bad because I don't think it is. I don't think C is bad. I think it's difficult. I think it's much easier to use Delphi because it's true. It is easy to use Delphi. But I'm not going to say C++ is bad because it really isn't. I like C++. But if I'm doing commercial application development where time is money, then I'm going to pick Delphi because it's really easy. And if I'm going to do mobile development, I'm definitely going to use Delphi. And not because Embarcadero pay me to say that, because they're not. They are paying me, but they're not making me say I would pick Delphi. I mean, yeah, I would. So anyway, enough of that. Let's rant. So the idea for the 30 webinars came about because of that 30th birthday, and I picked the topics. And I just, someone said, well, what titles are you going to get? And I literally sat down, and in 10 minutes, I typed out 30 topics. And halfway through the 30 webinars, I really started to realize what a big challenge I'd set myself, really, really over the top in terms of effort. And I've just got an email. I'm about to record a video for Portuguese audience. Yes, I will do that. George just messaged me to ask me a question, and I'll get back to you after the webinar. But the answer is yes, I will do that. That's not a problem. So yes, where was I? Yeah, I literally sat down and I typed out 30 webinars. See, Selena says as well, I grew up professionally hearing the same thing, why Delphi and blah, blah, blah. And here we are, powerful. Yeah, exactly. And I am going to not give up convincing people. And I'm not going to go and belittle them and make them feel bad about it. I'm going to show them, and we are going to show them why they should use Delphi because it's a compelling argument. It's not difficult. And in fact, we've got some webinars coming up for end users, for customers and companies that want to develop software to explain the benefits and how they can get Delphi developers. And if they can't find Delphi developers, and I get it, sometimes it's difficult in some regions, then how they can take an existing developer and have them trained up quite quickly into Delphi because Delphi is based on Pascal. And Pascal was invented as an easy and straightforward language to learn, and it is. Delphi is, and see, I'm going to get a load of people saying things like this because Delphi is the best. Only that, yeah, exactly. So halfway through these topics of the 30 or 30 webinars, I thought, oh grief, what have I done? Because some of them were challenging. The OAuth 2 one was tricky to set up and get working. The Amazon ones, I would have been stuck without Richard Hatherall. And Francois, Piet, and with his contributions that he's come up with, Jens Fudge from Denmark. I'm just picking names out of the hat here, and also my good friend Patrick Prematin, who's always in the comments. He's in the comments now, streams like a demon. So many of them. There are Christoph Schneider, who opened up the series with his webinar. A lot of the time I'm just talking about other people's hard work. Yeah, I wrote a lot of code, a lot of examples, and some of them were written, with I had hours allocated, like a few hours allocated because I'm very busy doing all sorts of things. But wrote the demos myself from scratch for things. But not only wasn't the only one to do that. People like Richard Haswell spent a lot of time having meetings with me and going through things, and I'm very grateful to him. Christoph is the same, but many of those people, and I appreciate it. So let's just have a quick, before I go into the links that I've got set up, let's have a quick recap of some of the bits, okay, of what's going on. Some bits of it are a little bit silent because of the way the editor works, but let's just have a 2-minute, 45-second recap. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world, in the country, whether you're watching a replay or watching this live. Much more fun live. Morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the country, in the world, and or good evening, depending on where you are in the country, in the world, and whether you're watching us live or on the replay. It's much more fun live. You get to join in the chat and everything. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the country, in the world, and whether you're watching us on a replay. It's getting a bit of a catchphrase, isn't it? I'm going to have to think of a better one. Hello to everybody that's watching. Marco Cantu. Hello, Marco.
Hi.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry, my mic was off.
We always have to start something with going, oh, sorry, I was muted. That is the tradition.
Sure. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, you featured in the video as well, and apparently I can get up to 10 guests. So we're going to try and see how this works.
It's never going to work.
Well, let's see. We'll give it a go and see how far we get. So another one who is no longer a colleague, but I'm going to put him on anyway, and that is another person who, the minute you say his name, everybody knows who he is. He is everybody's favorite ex-developer relations guy. Now he's kind of semi-retired, but he still can't resist doing lots of articles and blogs, and that is David I with his shirt on, of course.
Well, this is a very special shirt. If you can hear me, I'll get closer to my web camera. It's a tie-dye T-shirt I only bring out on very special occasions.
Well, it's the 30th birthday. Yeah, I look at that. That is awesome. Well, I wanted to just play that for a quick second, just to go through a few clips. That does seem to be a catchphrase, doesn't it? Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I feel like some kind of talk show host or something like that. 30 welcomes in 2 minutes. Well, I didn't actually do all 30 because I thought it would get a bit tedious after a while. But yeah, it was a lot. A whole bunch of them, 30 webinars. So let's go to my links and talk about a few things. So first of all, I have got a bunch of links I'm going to show and talk about. There is no way you're going to write these down. Okay, no way. So we're going to talk about them because what happened was that as Patrick says, the past, present, and future of Delphi. In fact, yeah, we had a few times we had people on, and Vic Boss says engage. Yes, exactly. But what I did was I emailed our MVPs and said to them, "Hi guys," because I got a few links, but I thought, well, maybe I'll miss some. So it'd be a good idea if I email the MVPs, and there are quite a lot of MVPs, 200 and something MVPs around the world, and another at least 150 to 200 tech partners. So there's a whole bunch of people around the world, and they're just the MVPs and the tech partners, never mind the users. And I thought I'll get a few emails come up, with links, and then I'll put them in some slides. That's not what happened. What happened was I had many emails from people, and I mean many. I had something like 150 emails this morning, and some of the emails I couldn't tell. I mean, most of those I did a little search there so I could pick up which ones are which. But as you can see, that's 50 of many emails for that topic. Oh wow, and the heading was for the webinar. That's what I sent out, and a whole bunch of MVPs came back and said, "Oh yeah, yes, I've got this site and I've got that site," and I was like, "Whoa, it's overwhelming." And it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And yeah, and Terry says, and this is a good point as well. I look forward to your videos from the upcoming conferences in while I'm missing these regular ones. Yeah, I'm actually going to try and do some broadcasts live, maybe from Denmark, because I'm there next week on Tuesday and Wednesday at the Danish conference, and then in June at Amsterdam at the Delphi Summit. And I'm also this year going to Brazil, Germany twice, Italy at least once. I'm forgetting somewhere, Spain, I think, as well. So, I'm absolutely around there. Patrick says everything's available on the YouTube as replays. Yes, but as Terry says, it's better live. Well, it is. So that's why I'm going to do some live broadcasts. They won't be long. They won't be like an hour of drivel, from me. It'll be shorter. But nevertheless, I will probably. You'll see me meeting various people. Patrick won't be there, I think, this year, but Patrick and I will bump into each other. I guarantee it, because I'm traveling around Europe a little bit doing things as well. So it's good. But anyway, just to say that if we go back to my little overlay there, a lot of information, a lot of evidence. And so I can't do all the links. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a website with all the links on, because if I put them up now, and I am going to mention them now, but if I put them up now, you're all going to disappear and go and look at those links, and then we'll miss something important. So the list of events and links at the moment, this is going to go to the Embarcadero events page. But I'm going to make it go to the Learn Delphi page with events on as well, and also put some events in here. Okay, so at the moment, tinyurl.com/meet Delphi will take you to the community page with the various user groups in. But I am going to update it with all the links that came in this morning. I had hundreds of them. And I'm also going to mention some of them now as well. But tinyurl.com/meet Delphi. It's a fairly easy one to remember. So let's have a look at what we've got. So talking about the various and I'll put that link up later as well in case you're worrying. Let's just go through some of the ones we've got. So I've got one here that I particularly wanted to show, which is this one. Okay, so this is cafe.naver.com/Delphi FMX. Now, people will go, where is Delphi used? As if there's some kind of like, why not write the link clearly? What he means there is, why don't I put it out? And let me just explain that. The reason is the link is massive. And if I use tinyurl, it's quicker for you to type in meet Delphi, and remember that, than to type in ///career/.or.sk195966.com. You get me? So it's not. There's nothing underhand. I don't want you to think I'm being shady. It's just that if we do that that link in that way, then you will just not get to it. So there's the link, okay, to South Korea. Now, interesting thing about the South Korean one was that they said, oh, you might not want to show it though because it's all in Korean. Well, actually, this is their site in Korean. And if you click, if you use something like Microsoft Edge, which is what I use, then it will translate it into English. And you can see, and I had no idea about this, you can see that there is a whole bunch of information about Delphi there. I'd say it's probably easily as big as Delphi Praxis, which is a site in Germany, which is extremely popular. It's amazing. I had no idea the site existed. So this is a new one on me. So it's cafe.nava.com/Delphi FMX. Look at all that stuff. Aren't they great? So there you go. I'm impressed. Now I can't find where my overlay is to hide it. Yes, that's one. So Cafe Nava. All right. No, I meant the URL that is under the QR code. I don't know. I thought it was clear, but there you go. Right, so let's go on to some more then. So starting at the top, I'm going to work my way down. Like I say, I don't expect you to be able to write all these in. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of links, but I just want to talk about a few of them. So countries that are possibly not featured very often on some of our streams because they're not in English, but you know, Delphi is in use around the world. And excuse me, Sema Asil, he broadcasts on YouTube in Arabic. Now, the great thing about programming, software development, is that the actual code you type in Delphi is universal. Now, the variable names and the comments are going to be in another language potentially, but and especially the comments. But you know what? When you're creating some class or something like that, a class is a class is a class. So it's fairly easy to get what someone's doing. And he's also got an amazing YouTube, Facebook group there. And he did tell me how many people were on it. It was a lot. Let me just see if I can find it. Yeah, I can't find it at the moment, but it was a whole bunch of people that he has. Same as why are you not coming up? Oh, did you send it in late? Maybe what it was. Yeah. Okay, I can't find, but it's a whole bunch of people. Another name that was brought up to me, and this was partly from Patrick Prematin, who also streams on this, and that is Marco Breviglieri. Not easy for a Brit to say, and he streams on Twitch. And in fact, we actually broadcast out to Twitch as well. But Marco is a great developer. He was very surprised one time when I dropped in on his stream to watch what was going on. He's like, "Oh wow, you are turning up." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine, okay." But again, this is I think he streams in Italian. Compila Quindiva, very good. Groups that you can go to. Actually physically visit and meet up I think they're meeting up virtually as well, but the ukdevgroup.co.uk, and they specifically this was from Jason. He mentioned the go to the About Us link as well, which is very poignant of him to say about us, but I guess that's because that's the right link, but that's the link I put it in. So ukdevgroup.co.uk, bunch of Brits, and occasionally people from other countries turn up as well. And they have some quite interesting speakers. I believe Richard Hatherall goes there, and I know obviously Jason does. Quite a few MVPs. So when you go to that group, you're learning from MVPs that are there, and you can hang out with them and talk Delphi stuff. I used to go to it myself years and years ago, before I moved to the United States. I've been there. It used to be held in a place called the POSC Center, and I think they've moved now to somewhere else. He did say where it was. Oh, he mainly uses Zoom, he says here in his chat. Okay, yeah, UK Dev Group. And whilst we're talking about groups, in Portugal, so if you're Brazilian, this will work for you as well. But lusodelphi.pt, and this is again run by an MVP, and he's a pretty good one as well. Why is it that my Oh, there it is. Now it's working. And this is from MVP called George De Luca. George is a Brazilian who lives in Portugal, and he's extremely active. He gets involved in all sorts of educational things and stuff like that. He did give me some other links, but the links are on his lusodelphi.pt site as well. Again, if you're Brazilian, it works because it's Portuguese, the language, Brazilian Portuguese and Portuguese. They're a little bit different, a bit like American English, British English, and Australian English, with maybe some more nuances to it. But it works. It works for you. French groups. Well, if you are into speaking French and you are Belgian French or French, and I know Belgians say they speak French differently, and the French say Belgians do not speak French like French people, because that's how it works. The same as a Brit saying Americans don't speak English properly, which is not true. Then this is a group for you on the LinkedIn group. And they also have a Belgian developer, a Delphi developers group as well. And that is, again, just LinkedIn groups 9014579. These links are not very good. My favorite MVP, who is always appearing in the chat window, is Patrick Prematin, who is always there. George De Luca is Luca for Luso Delphi. Yeah, did I not say your name properly? Marco's videos are amazing, sister lady. Yes. When you said the code you type in, I think I heard your dog growl at you for that. Yeah, well, maybe. And Tom Soft says, why Delphi now? It was the easy way from beta basic. No, I don't agree. I think Turbo Pascal probably was the reason why Delphi became so incredibly popular. But anyway, Patrick Prematin, a Spirit of Delphi award winner. And unfortunately, that is coming to an end because we are going to nominate somebody else or some people else for it. But Patrick Prematin is my absolute star. He's very, very, he gives a lot of himself out on this. I don't know how he does it without ending up going crazy, but he is a streamer. He's always on the chat. And whenever I've got, a coding camp and I need some help, Patrick often volunteers massively. So, Patrick, I want to say thank you. I know we will maybe see each other again sometime this year in one country or another. I don't know, but if I don't see you, big hugs from me, and thank you for all that you do, because I really, really appreciate it. You're a star guy. Going to America, there are a few Americans that I will pick up as we go along, but the Oregon Delphi Users Group is odug.org. odug.org, Oregon Delphi User Group.org, and they are a great bunch of people. And this is organized by David Cornelius, who is an MVP. He also is a guy that wrote a very, very good book called Fearless Cross-Platform in Delphi, which I think is, let's see if I can point to it. That book there on my shelf, see that book there? That is David Cornelius's book, which I paid hard cash for. I didn't get for free. And I actually nearly always buy people's books, even though I get lots of them sent to me for free, but, for review or because I edited them, which happens sometimes, or wrote a foreword. But David Cornelius's book I bought because it's a really good book. So he runs the ODUG group. This one, which the lady can pronounce, but I cannot. Radziros, is that good, this lady? And my Brazilians, a community at the campus party event, and this is a coding camp in Brazil. So the URL is brazil.campus-party.org. Sounds fantastic. Sounds like there would be music and dancing and all sorts of things, because I have been to Brazil and I know they do not mess about. So brazil.campus-party.org. And also, as Salim says, I appreciate all you do, Patrick. Well done. Yeah, there you go. See, it's not just me. And let's go on to the next one. So that was Zeros. South Korea I mentioned. I must mention also Darian Miller, who is extremely active as an MVP in terms of social groups. He has got a whole bunch of them. I think if you go to the Telegram one, you'll see more of it. You can also, let me just pull this up for a second. Yeah, he's got 1,593 members in that Telegram group. Now, the thing about Telegram is that if you pay a little bit of money, you get the pro version of Telegram, and it will do translations for you, which I find personally very useful, because I'm on a lot of social media groups, and if English is not your first language, if you join this group, it will automatically translate them into your own native language. I'm on some Brazilian and Spanish and German Telegram groups, and it's great because I can read what the questions they have or their comments or whatever, and it translates it into English for me fairly accurately as well. And it's all automatic. I pay. It's not a lot. It's like $60 a year or something for me, which, I mean, I apologize if that's a lot of money for you, but I think it's quite reasonable. But yeah, Darian Miller, he's got some other stuff as well. If you want to know more about it, go to ideasawakened.com. That's his website. He's a very, as I said, very, very active MVP. He's also got a Discord group where he's got 1,124 members. They're all listed on that community page I pulled up earlier on, and 567 members on Slack as well. I will update the community page with all of these links that I've received. I've got so many, I can't list them all. We'll be here for 5 hours listing them all. But yeah, Darren Miller is a very, very active guy. And as Slater says, the code party is exactly that, music and games. Yeah, I knew. Brazil would never let me down with partying. I remember I went out for a meal with a bunch of people, which I thought would be a sedate business chat. And it turned into a raucous event with people dancing on the tables. It's absolutely amazing. Brazil's, they know how to party. I mean, I'm British, and that is kind of like an Olympic sport on Fridays and Saturdays. But Brazil, they do not mess about. So, it's pretty crazy. Tanner says, I've got 5 hours. Let's do it. RTX Trainer Mentor says there are not many job openings for Delphi. We're actually got a webinar that's coming up that's going to talk about that, and some strategies. We'll try and improve that. We get it. We're going to try and focus this financial year, because our financial year started in April, on doing something about that, convincing people that why they should use Delphi as a development, and then how to get developers to come and work for them as well. So Richard Haverall talking about Patrick Prematone, you're a bit of a legend around here, all the praise deserved. I told you, you're a good lad. Oh, that's a bit condescending. You're a good man. That's what I mean. A good coder. Yeah, it's good. Let's have a look. What else have we got? So I'd already mentioned the Brazilian campus party, Darian's group, and he has got others. Like I say, if you go to the community page, they're listed there. Indonesia. Yeah, see, there's a name. There's a country that doesn't come up very often, but they have got not one but 2 Delphi Indonesia groups, and this is one of them. I'm going to list the other one on that site I linked to, but telegram.me/Delphi Indonesia. You couldn't get easier URL than that. Delphi Indonesia with a whole. They've got. You tell me how many, but it's quite a lot of developers, thousands of them. Streamers. There, if you want to watch someone coding, it is going to be in Portuguese, because this is a Brazilian guy, Code for Delphi. But there are a lot of Delphi coders that stream on Instagram. We are streaming now on Meta right now on Instagram. But there's a couple of well, I say couple. There's about 4 MVPs that do more than one channel. Code for Delphi is involved in quite a lot of things. There's also Delphi Navea, which means Delphi in the veins, which I really like. They basically mean we're built out of Delphi. That's probably the best translation for it. And fantastic, really, really good. And Code for Delphi, he's a great guy, really good coder. He's also got a YouTube channel as well, and he'll have links, like a link tree to all sorts of other things. And I'll put all the links on this page that comes up. Gustavo, who I terrified when I went to Brazil by making an MVP on the spot. I actually thought he was an MVP already, and when they said, "Oh no, he's not an MVP," I'm like, "Really? Okay, you're an MVP." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes, I can do that. I have a magic wand. I can go, and you're an MVP like that." He's like, "Wow, yeah." I mean, there's some paperwork to sign and things like that, but yeah, he's an MVP. So, Gus, that was a great day. It was very, very funny. If you ever watch a video of it happening, he was just blown away by it. And that is the links so far. We've got tons and tons of others. Okay. The South Korea one was hilarious because I did a thing recently. And like I said, all the links are going to be on that page, which I'm going to pull up again in a moment. Let me just do that now, because otherwise you're going to wonder where. Oh, and by the way, another site that I wanted to mention as well, Mytov Software. Mytov.com, easy URL to get to. But Boyan, who is almost certainly in the chat as we speak, has also been another one of these people that's contributed to this this whole series of 30 for 30s. It appeared, was it twice, Boyan? I can't remember, but he's always in the chat. He's obviously got nothing better to do. I'm joking. He's a really busy guy. I mean, this is one of the most prolific developers I know. I don't know how he does it. He churns out code like there's no tomorrow. It's amazing. And mytov.com, go there if you've got any interest at all in internet things. Boyan is the guy for it. It's absolutely wonderful, and he's got a lot of. And there you go. He just said thank you in there. So he is in the chat. I knew it was. Excuse me. I'm gonna. It's that time of year when there's all sorts of allergies going on. Yes, thank you, Boyan. And I mean it. You are a decent guy. Now, for the list of events and all these links, there are lots more. Like I say, Delphi Navea. There's tons and tons and tons of people out there. I've got so many messages come through, like Vinicius Sanchez. There's an event in San Jose on the 31st of May, and that is at the Hotel Nacional de Rio Preto, distributed by Intercity. That's a heck of a name for it, isn't it? But that'll be on that page, which I'll update as soon as I can. It's in Brazil. Marcus pointed out there's an event in the Technic Museum Sinsheim, which is a venue with a Concorde and a Tupolev, a Concorde, plane, and a Tupolev to visit. It's out of date. I'm going to update it as soon as I finish. I just couldn't do it. I had so many emails, I just couldn't get them all on there. But I'm going to put them all on there as soon as I can. Who else did we miss or not miss? Wagner Landgraf, he's doing his tour, which is the Delphi na Estrada, which I've mentioned before on the stream, but I'll put another link up. They are in Porto Alegre in 12th of May, Chapico, 14th of May, Cotiba, 16th of May. I'm sorry about mangling the names. Campinas, 19th of May, Rio de Janeiro, 20th of May, Teresópolis, 21st of May, Brasilia, 22nd of May, and Fortaleza, 23rd of May. They're not joking when they say they're doing a tour. And Delphi on tour, that's what Delphi Nastrada means. If you want to know about that, go to the site, Delphi Nastrada. I'm actually going to create a caption for that so that we've got one. Let me just add one. Oh, wait, no, I haven't reached all yet. So Delphi Strada. So this is Delphi on tour, basically, in Brazil. Oh, yeah. So go to that site, and it's a heck of a tour. Wagner Landgraf, you may know him from TMS and a few other things. He's got some very interesting work that he's done. He is responsible for X Data from TMS, and also I can't remember the. I can't believe I've forgotten the name of the other thing, the database. Aurelius, yes, that's what it was. TMS Aurelius, and all sorts of other things. He's a really, really top developer, straightforward guy, Brazilian to the core, of course. But he's very talented, a very talented guy. Met him last year in Brazil. I am going to Brazil this year. There's a conference in Brazil later on in September. There's also 2 conferences in Germany in September. There's the Delphi Summit in June coming up, and it's just everything is everywhere. You know, you don't. There's more than you would imagine. Goofy found it. Yes, a Forum Castle engine. Yes, that's another one that we should mention as well. Castle Game Engine. They have a forum. So I told you, there's so many things, because, and this is in relation to Turnard saying, anyone know of any good sites to make games of Delphi? There's a lot, actually, and also we're looking at doing some stuff with Godot, which is a games library, 2D games library, and Gorilla 3D, which you can already get and download. If you open Delphi, go to get it and type in Gorilla 3D, you can get Gorilla 3D, which is a games engine. There's several of them. Castle Games Engine, very, very good. He's a great guy. He's been on there before. Aurelius, yes, exactly right. Yeah. I had a mental blank. I've used Aurelius. I don't even know why, and you spelled it wrong, but I don't know why I had a blank. Like I said, it's been a long couple of months happening. And yeah, let's just pull that list of events up again. So Delphi Estrada, amazing. It's all in Portuguese. Malcolm from Code Partners has got the ADUG Symposium. That is in September as well. September seems to be conference month for Delphi. And if you go to codepartners.com, that's code-partners.com, they'll have their stuff in there where you can read more about it. But it will be on this page, events page, later today. I've mentioned Indonesia, Armando Correa, who is Armando Neto. Yes, okay, well, link will be in there. Darian, I mentioned, Gustavo Sanguin from Salady, who is Miss Active. David Cornelius, Odag, he also has lots of history. Jens Fudge, there's no point in me publicizing this because the tickets are probably closed now, but the Danish user group, I'm there on Tuesday. 2 days solid of me. Bad luck, people, and no escape. But it is in a very nice hotel, and they do some excellent food. I saw the menu. I thought they accidentally sent us to some kind of 5-star restaurant because it's incredible. But yeah, they're not messing about. Christoph Schneider, he was on our very first 30 for 30 webinar. He's also got some stuff coming out, and he's turning up again as well. Here's a meetup group, which we'll put in the links here. And that is in Kletterhole Horisau Appenzella Park, Holzlistrasse. Okay, well, you know, I prove that I am unfortunately very British about what's going on. Francois Piet is also a great developer. GitHub.com /fpiet, P-I-E-T-T-E. He is the creator of the Internet Component Suite. He's got all sorts of things going on. He's got a LinkedIn group, which I mentioned as well. Didier Cabale, I think I mentioned these as well with his LinkedIn groups. Detlef Overbeek would also like to mention that on the 12th of July, between 10 and 5 p.m., so 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're an AI course in the Pascal Cafe in Utrecht. So if you're in the Netherlands and you're anywhere near Utrecht on the 12th of July, I definitely recommend going. Detlef is the editor of Blaise Pascal magazine. And, if you have never looked at it, I would recommend doing it. It is literally as it sounds, Blaise Pascal magazine, and subscribe. But it's been on a few streams before, where it is. Dannysoft have got some events as well coming up May the 9th in Portugal. And they've got a Delphi fundamentals course coming up as well, but that will be on the links. What else? Jason, I mentioned. And, oh, yes, finally, I did briefly mention it, but Embarcadero in Germany are also having an event on September the 11th, which is obviously a key moment for Americans, 9/11. But it's in September. Now, that week, there is one for Embarcadero and then one for the Object Pascal group, which is kind of like Free Pascal, Lazarus, Delphi, Rad Studio. And I've said this often. If you don't use Delphi, fair enough. Okay, it's our job to offer you the right features and functionality that you choose us. Okay, but if you choose not to use us, I think you're crazy. But if you choose not to use us, please consider using Object Pascal, Free Pascal, and Lazarus, because I would rather use Object Pascal in any other way than migrate towards a different language like C# or something like that, because that's doing it the hard way. Object Pascal as a language is easy to learn. If you know another type of software development, swap over to having a quick look at Object Pascal, and you'll learn it like that, as quick as anything, because it's a very, very easy language to learn. And I am actually appearing at an event that's organized by them, and to make the point that we are relatives, we're brothers, we're companions. There is obviously some competitiveness because we clearly want you to use our version, Embarcadero's version. That's why I'm wearing their shirt. But at the end of the day, it's about the language, Object Pascal. It was invented by Niklas Wirth. Pascal as a learning language and as a general purpose development language that would be easy to learn, yet remain powerful and functional. And I believe it really is. So, like I say, that week of the 11th, the 18th and 19th, there are two events in Germany. So you spot for choice, Embarcadero one, and then another one that we'll get details of as well. And also, in the following week, there is the Brazilian conference as well. And I'm going to all three of those. And yes, I will be very jet lagged, but all three of those, I will be there. So if you feel like meeting up and having a chat, if you're in Germany or if you're in Brazil, I know I'll get mobbed in Brazil. Every time I turn up at Brazil, it's like I'm just, like I brought Lady Gaga or someone with me, because they're like, oh my gosh, it's you. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I walk 6 feet. Someone goes, hey, can I have a selfie with you? Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's not weird, but okay. Yeah. It's amazing. They're very engaged people. Okay, so look, I will get this updated with the new information that came through as of yesterday, and all the links on there. But I just wanted to make sure that we called it many out. I've missed, I'm sure, loads and loads and loads of them. Museo Valero says IT DevCon 2025 Spring Edition to Rome, Italy, 23rd of May. That is May 2025. So Google that, IT DevCon, but I will make sure it gets put on the links as well. Museo, can you email me? ian.barker@embarcadero.com, and we'll put it up. And the name memory stuff only gets worse. Actually, Terry, I guarantee you, I'm probably older than you. You just don't realize it. Yeah. Ronaldo from Brazil. Who is Ian? That is me. I am Ian. And actually, if you ask ChatGPT who is Ian Barker at Embarcadero, it'll tell you some weird stuff about me you probably didn't know. So there you go. Delphi Club Italia, Italian Facebook group, and Delphi programmers. Yeah, so there you go. Museo, email me the details and I'll make sure they get put on the events page as well. Okay, so email me the details and I'll put them on the events page. Okay. All right, so I think that's it. I've got a little recap before we go. Sorry, not a recap. I've got a little outro. Every time we do a coding boot camp or something like that, we want to, we want to encourage you to use Delphi, but I also want to encourage you that programming is fun, software development is fun. I knew from the age of 14 that I wanted to be a software developer, and I've never looked back. I've done some other things as well. I've been a DJ, I've owned a nightclub, I've owned a children's nursery, but I've always been a software developer. I owned a software development business. I've been head of development at a couple of companies and senior developer at a few others as well. Worked for myself, written commercial software, lots and lots going on. And, I have been in the development industry for more than 40 years. I'm older than I look, or maybe just as old as I look. And I just learned that Ian travels with Lady Gaga to Brazil. No, that's not true. But Terry says I'm older than David I. Wow, I didn't know that, Terry. If that's true, then I doff my cap to you. You are older than me. David I is older than me, but I'm older than Jim McKeith. There you go. I'm actually 10 years older than Jim McKeith. So there you go. But anyway, it's been 30 plus webinars, and I really want to thank you once again, all of you that have joined us live on the stream, the thousands and thousands of views we've had on YouTube, tens of thousands on Facebook, thousands on LinkedIn, and all over the place. I mean, absolutely everywhere. I know I talk a lot, and that is my job. I wanted this 30 for 30 webinar series to introduce why I think you should use Delphi, some of the things it can do, but also to create a much more, to really put a stamp on how I want the company to be perceived. I want you to recognize that we are not some black box, okay? That, we are real people behind all of this. And that's why whenever you see us even launch the product or make an announcement or anything like that, or even put a blog post on, we always give out our email addresses. If you don't like something about ChatGPT, who do you email? I don't know. If you don't like something about Microsoft Edge, who do you email? I don't know. If you don't want something to be a feature in Microsoft Windows, you click on the feedback feature, and where does it go? Now I do know where that goes, and I know some of the people involved, but the general public might not know that. And I did not want us as a company to be like that. I wanted to stamp on the fact here, to emphasize the fact that Embarcadero is not a black box. When you sit down to code in front of the keyboard and you have Rad Studio in front of you, we are metaphorically or symbolically sitting next to you whilst you type that code, because you're using Rad Studio and you're using the Delphi compiler. And I think that relationship deserves that you know who to email when you're annoyed about something, or you have a brilliant idea about a new feature, or you're just not sure about something and go, can Delphi do this? I'm not there for technical support. Okay, I can't. There are people in the support department who are way better at me than this. Okay, but I will answer your emails. I get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day, and I get thousands a month, and I answer all of them. And I don't use AI to do it. I don't use some secretary or something like that. I answer the emails, every single one. Many of you will have got hold of me via email and said, I didn't know you'd email back. Well, I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. And not only that, but with these webinars, I wanted it to be more like a radio show, deliberately. And that means no script, some bits are set out and laid out and scripted and prepared. But generally speaking, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you off the top of my head. And I feel that gives you a much more genuine level of feedback. It also gives you a more honest level of feedback. If you ask me something and I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know the answer. If you email me and I don't know the answer, I say, I don't know, but I'll find out someone who does know the answer. But again, I'm not there for support. We've got a support department. That's all they do. And they're really good at it. And they're way better than I am. And they answer questions for me sometimes when I go, how does this work? I can't make it work. And they're like, do this. Oh, okay. But at the end of the day, you know, the bucks, it's a long story who that is. But the buck stops with me. I am the public face of the product, and one of them anyway. And Marco Cantu and the other PMs are also there as well. But you know, if you want to talk about the product, email me. I invite you to. I welcome you to email me. It's not a gimmick. It's not a trick. I felt like the company for a number of years was kind of there was a little bit of a gap between you, the people that are using the product, and us, the people that are producing the product. And actually, there's no gap. We're actually on the same team, the same side. We are developers creating products for developers, and that is something that Embarcadero has always done, is give out everybody's email address. You know Marco Cantu's email address, marco.cantu@embarcadero.com. David Millington, david.millington@embarcadero.com. Nuno Castro, nuno.castro@embarcadero.com. We don't hide the names. And there are very few technology companies out there that do that. If you try and email Twitter and email their HR department or something like that, they will send you a poop emoji as a reply. You know, the little poop. And I think that sums up something about character, because they treat the press with disrespect, which is fine. That's absolutely their choice. But you know, you shouldn't get a response like that if you're a customer, and you will sometimes get a response like that. Now they have a support account, and you can message them. But do you not feel like technology companies nowadays have just got so big, so automated, that they don't respond to you? Well, I don't want us to be like that, and that's part of my remit, to make sure that I'm here for you, interacting with you on a one-to-one basis to this camera. And I go to the events. I will turn up at your user event. I don't care if you've got 3 people. I will turn up at your user event virtually if it makes more sense to do it that way. So I'll come like this on a camera and talk to your people. I did one for South Korea where I thought I was talking to 2 people, and they sent me a photograph, and it was a whole movie theater full of Korean programmers. But the same with Australia. It's not efficient for me to fly to Australia and turn up in person unless I'm in that region, like, you know, Hong Kong and all that kind of area. But I will turn up at your events virtually on camera if we can fit it in, and if it works for your time and my time, then we'll do that. And I will literally get up at 3 a.m. to do it as well. So don't worry about the time zone. That's my problem. I'm in the US Central Time Zone. So right now for me, it's 1:20 in the afternoon. But I will literally get up at 2 a.m. to be there for you. And you can look at me and know that I'm telling the truth, because I believe that using Rad Studio and Delphi is the best way to develop applications of all types: Windows, macOS, Linux, iOS, Android. I genuinely believe that, and so my job is to try and show other people why I believe that, and that's one of the things I've tried to do in the 30 for 30 webinars. I made all those topics up. I literally, nobody told me to do that. I went to the bosses, and I'm lucky, I'm reasonably senior in the company, and said, I'm going to do this, and they're like, you're crazy. I don't care. I think it needs doing to spread the word, because, you know, in the months that we've, you know, had you guys supporting us and all the rest of it, we've not only gone in the top 10 of TIOB, and I get it, it doesn't mean anything, but it means something, right? We are in the top 9 now, and you know, over and over again, I'm trying to address those misunderstandings about what is good or bad about Delphi. My dog is getting restless. Good or bad about Delphi, why you should use it, what it can do, and I've only scratched the surface out of 30 topics. A lot more going on. But you know, I thank you again for everybody that joined it. I really appreciate it. Many of you have come repeatedly. Rick is one of them. Tiana is another one. And yes, we're doing some AI webinars next. There's going to be an AI coding bootcamp. We're going to have a competition with prizes, actual financial prizes, and a few other things as well. The reason that I'm not doing them as regularly is because it's got a lot of conferences coming up. I need to go to them as well, and also I need to do other work as well on top of it, and this takes a lot of time. So Tiana, I'm not going to stop doing them. We're just not going to do 30 and not going to do them 2 times a week. The next one is May the 9th. Yes, correct. That's yeah. And I appreciate Nigel and all the others, you know, Terry and the many people that have joined regularly, because you know, sitting listening to me talk nonsense for 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever it turns out. That's another thing. I never set a time limit, but it's always worked out about 90 minutes for some reason. But I'll send you my address. Please come help me with the game. Not quite what I meant, but you get where I'm coming from. Yeah, it's fine. And thank you for your presentation, JP. Hey, you know, thank you for what you do with Taurus TLS as well. You know, you're a good man. And Nigel Armstrong, 7:20. Americans don't understand 1920 unless they're in the military. They literally don't get it at all. There, it's confusing. What else we've got in? You would be welcome. Yes, I'm sure. I can't bring my dog. That will not work. Martin says, thank you. Yeah. And Ali says, whatever you're doing is efficiently affecting the place of Delphi amongst other languages, like what's happening to this. But hey, you know what? I'm just talking about other people's stuff most of the time. You know, if you love the product, if you love the language, talk about it to as many people as possible. And I believe that if we can show them what you can do, we'll reverse that decline that happened. And last year, at the end of last financial year, which ended in March, we actually increased in the face of global recessions and technical challenges worldwide. We increased the number of people using Delphi. Not a lot, and I'm going to keep going, but it is making a difference, and that is people like me, people like you, and all the others. Ali, you know, Ali, you've done some stuff that is great as well. You participated in events and things like that as well. So, Francis, yes, thank you, Francis, and thank you for all you're doing as well. Francis is working on a project to do with the National Health Service. I'm getting emails and messages through when I'm telling people not to. Like, yes, yeah, give the video. I'm not worried about likes. But subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, click on the subscribe button. That way, the next time I do go on live and you haven't read an email because we haven't sent it or you missed it, you'll get an alert from YouTube. I won't know who you are, but you'll get an alert from YouTube saying, hey, Ian's doing it. Tiana says, I only do FMX. So nice to hear. Yes, I really like FMX and I'm a big fan of it. And some of the books from some of the people like Andrea Magni, he does training courses on it as well and things like that. Shows you what you can really do with FMX. And respect for what then come back to completely you have to use hours at all. Yeah, well, I'm not sure I agree with that. But okay. And Sama Asil, thank you. Yes. I'm old school, didn't have OOP in Pascal back in the days when I started just spaghetti coding. AI is miles ahead of my learning code. Yes, well, you know, more on AI coming up in the AI session. Okay, so that's it from me. 30 done. Cross. Now all I have to do is go and prepare for the Danish user group. But as is traditional at the end of our coding boot camps that we do and all the rest of it, here's a play out session that is from Jim McKeith. He did such a good job of it. I'm just going to play it again. But in the meantime, for me, That's the end of 30. Thank you for joining, for all of you that have. See you soon, around and about. And what I did there was a mistake. I hit the wrong button. I think that's important to get it wrong. Oh, Marco G, also, by the way, saying nice things as well. He says I'm doing stuff for Delphi. Dude, you do a lot more than I do as well. So, he's a very good good guy, great tech partner, and there's a few out there, but he's really put some effort in. And his book is always ever present on my shelf. It's up there somewhere. Sorry, can't point to it at the moment. And congratulations, Ian, 30 for 30. Yes, now I'm going to get it right and play the video I intended to play. Thank you very much. Goodbye, and see you at the Delphi Summit in June, or if not, in Denmark next week.
I decided it would be cool to make a program where the code was the codified lyrics to a song, and then the output was the actual lyrics to the song. So much like Walt Disney created Fantasia based on classical music, I've created a special musical number based on the music of Jonathan Coulton.
Code monkey, get up, get coffee. Code monkey, go to job. Code monkey, have boring meeting with boring manager Rob. Rob say code monkey very diligent, but his output stink. His code not functional or elegant. What do code monkey think? Code monkey think maybe manager wanna write login page himself. Code monkey not say it out loud. Code monkey not crazy, just proud. Code monkey likes Fritos. Code monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code monkey very simple man with big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code monkey like you. Code monkey like you. Code monkey hang around at front desk till your sweater look nice. Code monkey offer buy you soda, bring you cup, bring you ice. You say no thank you for the soda, cause soda make you fat. Anyway, you busy with the telephone, no time for chat. Code monkey have long walk back to cubicle. He sit down, pretend to work. Code monkey not thinking so straight. Code monkey not feeling so great. Code monkey like Fritos. Code monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code monkey very simple man, big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code monkey like you. Code monkey like you. A lot. Code monkey have every reason to get out this place. Code monkey just keep on working. See your soft pretty face. Much rather wake up, eat a coffee cake, take bath, take nap. This job fulfilling in creative way, such a load of crap. Code monkey thinks someday he have everything, even pretty girl like you. Code monkey just waiting for now. Code monkey says someday, somehow. Code monkey like Fritos. Code monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code monkey very simple man, big warm fuzzy secret heart. Code monkey like you. Code monkey like you. Code monkey get up, get coffee.
This is actual Object Pascal code and was recorded in real time. You can compile it with Delphi or App Method and run it on Windows, OS X, Android, and iOS. The output is the original lyrics to the song. The code will actually work as a console application as well, and so in theory could work on other platforms like Linux, etc. Just in order to make it shared code, I made it a GUI application. I hope you've enjoyed this special musical number, and my thanks to Jonathan Colton for making and sharing this great song. You can download all my source code for this song on my website at delphi.org/codemonkey. From there, you will find links to download Jonathan Colton's song as well.
Thanks a lot, everyone. See you around at the events, and I am coming to Brazil in September, and Germany, and Denmark, and a few other places.